What is up, everybody? Glad here to be with you guys tonight. What is up, Nisi? Glad to be with you tonight. You're always my first person in the chat. Um, yeah, guys, I'm super grateful to have you guys with me tonight. Some of y'all may have tuned in last night. I went live after the game with my girl Mickey. We had a little Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball game reaction episode, and we plan to hopefully be able to do that not after every game, but for key games of the season. We want to be able to go live and talk to you guys, and maybe eventually figure out how we can get like the phone lines open to be able to communicate with y'all. But y'all forgive me, I forgot to put my light on. I'm looking kind of dark. Okay, there we go. So anyway, yeah, so we hope to be able to go live again, like we said, in key games that we have circled on our schedule. So we'll definitely let everybody know on Wednesday when we plan to do another game reaction, hopefully. But either way, before we get into the content, please like this video. Please share this video, this content, guys. And when you like the video, it just gives more people, it gives YouTube basically an alert to alert more people that I'm going live. So please help me by doing that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that already, which is Stargazers Sports. I have all my social medias to the right of the screen under follow me. So please follow me on all social media. As well as you see my banner scrolling at the bottom, you can donate to my Cash App. If you donate to my Cash App during the show, I will give you a special shout out and thank you. Because I do appreciate it, and you guys donating to my channel, like I always say, helps me upgrade equipment, helps me get more Cowboys gear, so that I can wear when I'm trying to rep the team and things like that. So and I want to be able to get more decor into my background and stuff like that. So please help me do that, guys, because I am a super Cowboys fan. But to believe it or not, I don't have that much Dallas Cowboys apparel or memorabilia. So when you guys donate, I'm definitely going to try to add pieces and stuff like that. So y'all will see that be upgraded throughout my tenure as a podcaster. And a Cowboys content creator. But without further ado, I think we can just go ahead and get into the content, because I kind of got a lot to talk about and I don't want to run out of time. So anyway, so today's show is entitled Cowboys 40 versus the 49ers, a mirror we can't dodge. Cowboys versus 49ers, a mirror we can't dodge. And I chose this title because that's exactly what the 49ers are. That's what this game means, and that's what came to me. I think it was last night. Y'all know Mickey and I were live until about 1:30 a.m. I actually didn't even go to bed last night till 4 a.m. This morning till 4 a.m. And then I woke up at 8 a.m. still thinking about the game and rewatching it and stuff like that. So y'all know that when you're a Cowboys content creator, we just got to delve into things a little bit deeper than the fans, right? Because I will be transparent and say yesterday was the first humiliating loss that I've seen as a super Cowboys fan, right? I think they said for the team we hadn't lost as bad since we were with Wade Phillips. I was not into the Cowboys under Wade Phillips. I know I was alive, but I definitely was a young child. So I definitely wasn't deep into the team or anything like that. I was just your normal fan. They play on Sundays. Woo, go Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I had never experienced a beatdown like that ever. So it was just super demoralizing, disheartening, confusing for me as a fan. And y'all can see my just straight up reaction from last night. You just go to the game reaction. It's on my YouTube channel. And then also I had lots of words to say on Twitter. So if y'all want to know my full, just like initial thoughts, y'all can go check Twitter and my YouTube, the game reaction that Mickey and I did yesterday. But anyway, that's exactly what this game is to us. It's a mirror that we can't dodge. This team is the 49ers team to the Cowboys is a mirror that you can't dodge. And what I mean is that, a mirror is always going to reflect back to you who you are. Not who you want to be, not who you hope to be, but who you are. And so I say it's a mirror that you can't dodge because it's like, it doesn't matter. We have to go through the 49ers in order to win a Super Bowl. We know that. We know that we are not going to get to the Super Bowl ever unless we can defeat this team. Right? Unless somehow we hope that we don't have to face them and that they get knocked out by a lesser team. But the likelihood of that happening is about slim to none. Right? The only reason why the 49ers lost against the Eagles last year in the championship is obviously because Brock Purdy went out, right? So they didn't even have a quarterback. They were literally playing with the backup to the backup to the backup. I mean, it was really bad. So it doesn't matter what we try to do. In order to really measure how good this team is, it's always going to come down to the 49ers. Because I'm going to be honest here, the Eagles are a good team, right? They have one of the best. They don't have the best roster this year, but they have one of the best rosters in football. But we are confident that we can beat the Eagles. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year. Dak still put up 40 points on them. I know y'all say Dak don't show up in big games, but Dak sure did show up against them last year when the defense gave up 30, how much? It was like 38, 34 points to the Gardner Minshew and company. Okay. And you can take a point off because remember Dak threw the pick six, right, at the beginning of the game. So you can take a point off and say they gave up 28 points, right? But that's still far too many. That's far too many against the backup quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? So, and if it wasn't Dak making Herculean throws to T.Y. Hilton, who's not even in the league this year, we lose that game. And we probably go in as a lower seed. And who knows what could have happened. So as mad as hell as we are at the team, at Dak, at everybody, the reality is, and I said that this in my description, the reality is that not complaining, but just talking about how bad it was is not going to bring up solutions. Because the reality is, guys, that this was just a week 5 loss. Like, that's just the reality, right? I know it feels horrible because we've lost to this team 3 times in a freaking row. But the reality is that this is week 5 loss and that we cannot allow this loss to derail the whole season. Because most likely we are going to get a chance to fight this team again. Now, we wanted to beat them, right? I even said we needed to beat them so that we could have the confidence, so that we could have complete confidence going into the playoffs that we could beat them. But I will say this. It's really hard to beat a team twice in the same season. Look at the Bucs last season, right? They beat us week 1. We obliterated them in the playoffs. So in retrospect, it's better to lose to the 49ers now than when we get on this moral high just to face them again in the playoffs and then get whooped. I'm going to just be honest about that because the likelihood of us whooping the 49ers twice in a row just is not likely. Now, I did not, regardless of us losing this game or winning this game, I did not want this game to get out of hand the way that it did. I mean, we got blown out. I did not foresee us blowing them out at all. I did not foresee them blowing us out. I was actually confident that we might have beaten them by 2 scores. I was pretty confident in that. But clearly, the players, the coaching, had a different agenda yesterday. So anyway, moving on. So here I say we got exposed. We definitely got exposed. And this is what when you peel back, when you looked in the mirror, right? This is what I saw. And I rewatched the game, by the way. So this is thoughts that I had after I rewatched the game, not just after the initial watching. So number one, y'all know me. Y'all know I love Dak. Y'all know I say I'm a self-proclaimed Dak apologist. Dak is my favorite player. I've not shied away from that. He is my favorite player, past and present. I obviously really believe in Dak. I'm very high on Dak. I believe Dak is a top 3 quarterback in this league. I've said all those things, and I've not just said them with my mouth, but I've showed facts and all of that type of stuff. You can go back in my videos. You can look on my Twitter and see all of that stuff. I compared him to the best, all this stuff. So anyway, but Dak may have had his worst game of his NFL career yesterday. When I rewatched the film, because see, initially, now granted, the wide receivers were not getting open versus man coverage. And that later came out. They showed it on film that CeeDee Lamb was getting locked up by Isaiah Oliver. Who? Exactly. They were showing that during the game, but Brian Schottenheimer actually said that the 49ers played us in man coverage more than they've ever played us. They're not a man coverage team. They are a cover 4 quarters team, but they literally were playing man on us, and they had us locked up. Our players could not get much separation at all. And when they did get separation, it was just too inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, think of it like this. 2 times I look up, you're covered. The 1 time I don't look at you, you're non-covered. You know what I'm saying? It was just so inconsistent. But nevertheless, there were plays to be made. There were reads to be had that Dak just didn't see, right? Dak was not going through his progressions. And that is one of that. When he gets in his head and he kind of gets like frazzled, he starts to not go through his progressions, right? He will tend to just lock on a guy, go with the first guy, which then is having the ball in his hands too long, right? And then now Dak is so, I'm going to have to say it, Dak is scared now to throw picks. Like the NFL, the narrative really got to Dak. But it didn't only get to Dak, it also got to Mike McCarthy, which brings me to my second point. Mike McCarthy isn't the answer to play calling. I said he's holding Dak back because he refuses to throw in the middle of the field. It's a reason why Dak Prescott's not taking the middle of the field. Y'all think it's some coincidence? Most of Dak's interceptions last year were throws in the middle of the field. That has now resulted in Mike McCarthy literally refusing to allow Dak to throw in the middle of the field. Like, we're not attacking the middle of the field pretty much at all. And then even when there's routes in the middle of the field, there's apprehension by Dak now because he's so scared to throw picks now. Now Dak is playing like a shell of himself. When y'all saw last year, Dak did not give an F, like, to be honest. Like, it was the media that kept making him think about those interceptions. But we were winning games. He was making big plays, right? We still had the number 1 offense when he came back. We were putting up points. But the media, the fan base, the media got in the heads of the fan base, got in the heads of the front office, then which got in the head of Mike McCarthy, then which got in the head of Dak Prescott. And it's completely turned this offense on its head. Completely. And when you have somebody like Dak Prescott, who is one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, one of the most accurate QBs in NFL history, when you look at stuff like that and you see him playing like he can't make a mistake, that's not good. That's not good. And Mike and Dak now Instead of playing fearless, they play with fear. And yesterday they played that game not to lose, and we got our asses kicked. There's just no other way to say it. We played that game not to lose, not to mess up, and we got our asses kicked. It's just as simple as that. Next, Dan Quinn is not a defensive guru, and this defense is no doomsday defense. It's actually pretty far from it, because you see the doomsday defense, or the 2000 Ravens, or the 85 Bears. These are defenses that were able to carry pretty much their anemic offenses. Like, when you say that we're going to be a defensive-led team, which is what this team is now proclaiming to be, this means that all through thick and thin, we can count on this defense. And this defense has showed us that one week it's holding teams to 0 to 3 points. The next week it's getting blown out. I mean, it's just no in between. It's either, and we saw this type of stuff last season. Remember, the first half of the season, they're holding teams to, 10 points, 13 points. That comes back, it's like just a big play after big play after big play after big play after big play. Like, just totally getting destroyed, undisciplined, can't stop the run. I mean, it's just as bad as it gets. I'm sorry, but we need to stop with the anointing oil. Stop with putting, what is this defense's name? This defense ain't got no name. This defense has not done it. You don't get and even them saying that shows the type of mentality. These players are really getting ahead of themselves, because you don't get named until you get an accomplishment. What has this defense accomplished? Nothing at all. It has not accomplished anything at all. Right? Now they can hang their shingle. This defense and this offense can hang their shingle on what they did to the Bucs in the playoffs last year. But again, that's it. That's all you can hang your hat on. You have 3 times in a row yet to show that you could defeat this 49ers team. And yesterday, it was worse than any of the other showings. Right? Last playoff game, the defense played their hearts out, but there were still plays to be made. That's what I'm saying. This defense is not an 85 Bears. It's not a doomsday. It's not even a Legion of Boom, right? It's not that. We got to take a hard look in the mirror and figure out who we really are so that we can progress forward. But as long as we keep lying to ourselves and keep telling ourselves that we're something that we're not, we're never going to be able to move forward. Okay? Then my final thought was, what the 49ers really showed us is what we already knew. We have a lot of talented players, but coaches that don't know how to utilize them. I don't know how long this was the issue with Kellen Moore. This was low-key the issue under Linehan and Jason Garrett because of the offense that we ran. It's super, duper predictable. Even on the defensive side of the ball, we've never had a cohesive unit as this, but we've always had talented players. Obviously we've had Hall of Famers come through this organization on the defensive side of the ball. And we can just never, it's like we have all the talent in the world, but we cannot find the right formula to put everybody in the best position to succeed. It's like we're in the freaking Twilight Zone. It's like something that just keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again. Because we thought that once we kicked Kellen out of the door, Mike told us last year, if I was a play caller, I would have a play calls, a call sheet for CD, a call sheet for Tony Pollard, that he was going to have all of this stuff, right? He said he was going to have all of this stuff to ensure that his players were getting the ball. Yet Tony Pollard got 8 touches yesterday. Deuce Vaughn got 0. Hunter Lipke got 0. Sorry, Deuce Vaughn I think got like 3 at the end of the game. CD got 8 targets. Ferguson, who was actually working, only got 3 targets. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, Brandon Cooks had about 2 targets. Like, this is ridiculous. Mike is once again showing he don't even know how to utilize the players that we have. He has no idea. He has zero idea. Like, we literally got lied to by Coach Mike McCarthy. And this is very disappointing to me because y'all know I did a whole series on here about why he's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. But honestly, guys, the word Super Bowl has been taken out of my vocabulary after last night's show. We're going back to this is a week-by-week basis, a game-by-game basis. And I hate that, and it breaks my heart. But that's what we have to do. If we lost yesterday in a close game, I don't think I'd be saying all of this, just to be quite honest. But we got just totally destroyed. So that I have to ask more questions than I would if this was just some close loss. Oh, we just lost, to a field goal or anything like that. Like, this was a massacre on national television. And our team just flat out wasn't prepared. It just flat out wasn't prepared. This should have been a game circled on your schedule as soon as you knew the 49ers were going to be on your schedule. And it was just horrible all around. It was horrible all around. There are probably 2 players that I think showed up. LVE, Jonathan Hankins. That's about it. Everybody else, defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball was horrible. Also Tyler Smith. There was some film out of Tyler Smith. He's been doing amazing. But everybody else, not good. Not good. The offensive line as a whole did good enough to win the game. I will say that. They did good enough to win, but it's not like they were just amazing. We couldn't run the ball. We need to get way more creative on offense when it comes to running the ball, when it comes to scheming up the pass game, because what we're doing right now, it's not effective at all. And yeah, I'm saying this because nobody showed up yesterday, guys. Virtually no one. Like, I know y'all saw the tweets and about CD being upset and he should have been targeted more. Sure, he should have been targeted more, but we saw the film of you, CD. You was locked up. We saw the film. You were locked up, buddy. You were locked up majority of the time. Sure, there were times that you were open. Dak missed you a few times. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but you was locked up. And part of that's on the players just getting open versus man coverage. When Schottenheimer said today literally that they played man against us and we wasn't able to get open. Dak is one of the best quarterbacks versus man. Nobody was getting open. Or if they were getting open, it wasn't in enough time. Now, granted, there were some high throws by Dak. The first couple of series, Dak was missing throws, high throws, or just not seeing the open guy. He just was not seeing the open guy. And I think that the 49ers, specifically Fred Warner, they terrify Dak. And I hate to say that, but there's really no other way to spin it. They terrify Dak. It's now a mental thing with Dak. It's not his physical capability. It's not like Dak is physically incapable. I see people saying that type of stuff now that, we just need a more mobile quarterback and yada, yada, yada. It's not got nothing to do with a mobile. You don't have to be mobile to defeat the 49ers. I don't know. You don't need a more mobile quarterback, anything like that. You have to be able to properly game plan against this team to beat them. And it was just bad. It was just bad. It was to the point. The play calling was horrible. But like I said, Dak did miss reads. There was times he missed Ferguson wide open, Tony Pollard open. But what I was saying was the 49ers got in Dak's head quickly because y'all saw the beginning we did. Because I was like, why didn't we run any screens? We tried to run a screen on like the second or the first series to Tony Pollard, and they ate that up. So I think Dak just stopped looking in the flats. I think Dak literally just stopped looking in the flats. Once Fred Warner and them did that one play, they tried to run to the outside a couple of times. It didn't work. Dak just gave up on the flats. And because now he's obviously being coached not to throw in the middle of the field because it's Dak's nature to throw deep in the middle of the field. Like that's one of the best things he's good at. He's not doing that anymore. So then it just became me throwing vertical routes, throwing 9 routes. It was real bad. It was really, really bad. And I saw people saying Dak is a quarterback that needs a run game. Every quarterback who plays elite defense needs a run game. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I showed it yesterday. You can look at Aaron Rodgers versus them. You can look at Patrick Mahomes versus them. You got to be able to run the ball against elite defenses. Right. But you also need to have a creative scheme as well. And the issue is our scheme is so predictable. Like I've tweeted, every defensive coordinator in America knows how to defeat our offense. It really comes down to, do they have the personnel or not to beat it? It's not complicated. It's not something that's real difficult to understand. Not a lot of misdirection or motion. The one time we did use motion, Turpin scored a touchdown, but then we went away from that. We were in shotgun yesterday. Literally, yesterday's game plan looked like Mike literally called up Kellen Moore and said, "Hey, Kellen, can you send me your game plan from last year?" Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Bye. Hung up. That's literally what it looked like. We have not been in shotgun all year. We've been one of the top teams in play action under center. And Mike literally had Dak in shotgun all game yesterday. And that's exactly what the 49ers went. It was bad. It was bad on all fronts. We got outplayed. We got outcoached. We got outcultured. I got a quote here. It says, "Identity can only come from within an individual. It can never be created or located." I'm going to read that again. Identity can only come from within an individual. You can't create who you are. You can't look and go out. People say, "I'm going out and finding myself." You can't go out somewhere and find yourself. Who you are is who you are inside. That's how you find out who you are, from looking inside. You don't find it from elsewhere. So I have some clips to show that we're not too clear on our identity. And honestly, the identity that it seems like we're trying to assume as this team, that we're this defensive-led team, I'm sorry, but we're not. We're not. And I just said that. I just said why. We've got a good, talented defense, but this is not a defense that can consistently lead their team. This is a defense that's going to that's going to get turnovers and all of this, and turnovers in one game, and then they're going to completely look undisciplined and not really making plays the next. Like, that's just who this defense is at this point. And I don't really care what y'all got to say about anybody got to say about it. If they want me to change my thought on that, they're going to have to change the way they play. But until then, this is not no defensive led team at all. If anything, you can say this is a balanced team, which this is a team where both sides of the ball, the offense and the defense and the special teams, all three phases have to be in sync. All three phases have to be in sync. Otherwise, we're not going to be winning games. We're not going to be winning the big games simply relying on this defense. It's not going to happen. And like I said, Dan Quinn and this defense, they can prove me otherwise. But from yesterday's showing, I mean, the 49ers were scoring at will. They were scoring so easily on us. The defense was so lost and confused. Like, it was really bad, guys. Like, we could talk all day about how the offense looked, right? The offense looked terrible, but so did the defense. The 49ers were scoring at will. We weren't getting any pressure on Brock Purdy. The wide receivers had, I think they were saying the wide receivers had like close to 4 feet of separation per pass. That means no one was even close to in the vicinity of them. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Let me see. I think I'm gonna try to just show some of these clips. Actually, Veep, do you want to take a break here, or can I just keep going? I don't know.
It's up to you. Whatever you like to do.
I'm gonna keep going. I think we can I'll bring you in probably about 10 minutes because I want to get through these videos.
Not a problem.
Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna show these videos, guys. One is from Dak, one is from CD, one is from Mike, where they're directly asked the same question of what is this offensive identity? And I want y'all to listen to the responses. Because I was not too confident in all of these responses. We'll start with Dak. He just asked, "What's the identity of this offense?" Veep, can you kill the background music? Thank you. Okay, here's Dak Prescott answering, "What is the identity of this offense?"
Yeah, I mean, I think when we've established a rhythm, that's kind of been I don't want to say obvious, but something to lean on with our tempo, changing up the personnel, putting pressure on the other team. But it starts with getting one first down. As I said, when you go 3 and out in the first 2 drives and then a turnover, it's tough. It's tough to overcome. You feel like you're stepping on your own feet. But when we get a first down, as we did, I guess in the 4th possession, things got better. And you look at the rest of the game, it was either 3 and outs or the turnover spree that I started.
Okay. So that was Dak's answer to what is our offensive identity. He said tempo and changing up personnel. Does that sound like an identity to y'all? Tempo and changing up personnel. And has that even looked? Now we go into tempo sometimes, but it doesn't seem like we consistently are constantly in tempo. I have seen that what was the game? I think that was that just last week? When we I think that was last week when we faced the Patriots. We did go up tempo, and obviously we blew them out. But we didn't do that this week. We weren't going up tempo. Then he's talking about changing up personnel. And then earlier in the week, Dak had said that we change plays every week. We add plays, we take away plays. That doesn't sound like a consistency to me. And then when you see the scheme that Mike rolled out, it's like, are we still trying to do this no identity bull crap? Where we just don't really have an identity. It's just based on, we just take what the defense gives us, and we just try to bring in as much, we're just calling plays now. Let's throw this package at them. Let's throw this package at them. Is that what we're doing now? Because yesterday it clearly showed. Because when there was things that were working, the same critique that we had over Kellen Moore, when we had that end around for Brandon Cooks that got 10 yards, right? When we used emotion to get Turpin open, we never went back to those things. We never freaking went back to those things. Even the run, when Tony Pollard fumbled, that was a positive game run, but we didn't even go back to that. I mean, it literally is looking like we are the exact same type of team what's crazy, guys, is that we haven't been that. Shout out to my guy Okoye. He can confirm this. He put that on Twitter, Okoye Media. We have been under center, play action, running the ball this year. Why Mike decided to be in shotgun literally tells me that this offense does not have an identity scheme. This is still the freaking no identity offense. where we just think we can just run a bunch of plays at people, confuse a bunch of people, which we don't confuse anybody because like I said, every defensive coordinator in the freaking NFL knows how to defeat us. It's just whether do they have the personnel or not, or is that going to be a super saiyan that day or not? It really just comes down to that. Okay, then let's look at what CeeDee Lamb said. This answer is worse. CeeDee Lamb's answer is worse than Dak's. This is what CeeDee Lamb's answer was what is our identity?
Shit the bed. What's the identity of this offense?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what he said.
Should you 5 weeks into the season?
I guess so. I don't know.
How do you guys find it?
I don't know.
What that defense do not slow you guys down.
CeeDee Lamb was just asked, what's the identity of this offense? And his answer was, I don't know. When your number one doesn't clearly know the identity of this offense, that means that there is no identity at all. We don't have an identity once again. We are still running Kellen Moore's no identity offense, where we are literally just we are basically have this huge book of plays where each game we're trying to take from this huge book of plays and say, okay, we think these plays were going to work against these guys. We are literally just running I'm going to have to do it for running new shit every game. That's what we're doing. Just running new shit. CD's targets have been down. We obviously haven't been focusing on doing plays to get our playmakers open. It's been, once again, scheme, right? We had this no identity scheme. So it's basically like, what I feel like they're doing, guys, really is they're looking at analytics based on what does this team primarily run? Okay, and what are the plays that will usually beat this? Okay, we're going to run these plays. We're not evaluating plays. Okay, CD got a huge gain on that. We're going to go back to that. We're once again not seeing every other offense I see runs the same plays. Kyle Shanahan has the same plays that he runs. We all knew Brock Purdy was going to do nothing but throw in the middle of the field. And guess what Brock Purdy did against us yesterday? Threw nothing but in the middle of the field passes. They have an identity. They know who they are. They know what they're going to run. Your number one wide receiver, even though I was on his ass because I'm tired of his diva attitude, but even so, your number one wide receiver doesn't even know the identity of this offense. That's unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable. I'll take a break here. We'll come back and I'll show Mike's response to the no identity. What's this offensive identity? And then we'll keep going.
All righty. Good evening, everyone. Tonight's Blast Artist Spotlight is our girl known as Demi Day, and this is called Be Like You. Check it out.
Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, Everybody can't be like you. I understand you got your own thing going. Merely on down the stream, you better keep on rowing. They try to knock your self-esteem, you better keep on glowing. Don't let nobody in between that future you be knowing. So here's my message to you. Ain't no person on earth that can outdo you. Be yourself until yourself. You'll be honored that you knew you. Only you can be your rock when it ain't no one else around. And if you don't love yourself, then the only way is down. But I believe in you. I see you got some dreams in you. Full speed ahead, I see you got some steam in you. Just keep chugging away. Be grateful for every day that you get to bless the world with such a beautiful face. Let your shadow make the chase. Let your heart dictate the pace. Let your mind give you the strength and let your spirit run the race. I bet your ancestors cheering, seeing the path you clearing. Nothing worth fearing, every lesson worth hearing. But every now and again they try to break you. Lean into them wounds even though they might be painful. And when they heal the scars, that's when you gon' see a breakthrough. I'm praying that you make do with every resource within your grasp. Multiply it forth and be generous with your math. Kindness in your hand, willing to understand that every single second you get is another dance. And every single moment you breathe is another chance to do something you love, to always rise above. Parting for the past, don't let that trauma beat you up. Be gentle with your mental and everything you done been through. End of the day, you're the reason I grabbed a pencil, so I could draw you up a motivational stencil. Tracing the inspiration, make way for the destination. 'Cause trust me, I can see all of the places that you're headed. And I'm here to let you know you ain't gonna never reach a dead end. Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. Everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you.
The Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
It is a law firm for those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area seeking a holistic approach to solving their legal matters. Just some of the legal services the firm provides. It's divorces, custody suits, child support, and adoptive child services, criminal defense, DUI defense, wills, trust, power of attorneys, and many, many more. You can contact the Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
And make sure that you say the word blast when you speak to the Lee Law Firm representatives and receive 10% discount on your initial retainer to hire the firm.
And that was Demi Day with Be Like You. And if you are an independent artist, spoken word poet, or even up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But listen, Blast is needing fans as well. So fans, go to blastmusic247.com, register for free, and have access to plenty of free music. Blast, changing the industry one artist at a time. All right, back to you, Star.
Thank you. And what's up with you guys? I see Mickey in the chat, Dwayne, Nisi. I appreciate y'all rocking with me in the chat tonight. Okay, so anyway, let's move on to what Mike had to say when he was asked, what is this offensive identity? Give me a second. Share screen. McCarthy, share. All right.
Identity? Yeah, I think just like anything. I mean, when I look at the 5 weeks of offense, you know, I just think that we've been in a different range of games. You know, I just because I was thinking about it even after I talked to the team last night, and it's been on my mind because I just believe in, you know, consistency and continuity is so important in everything you do in this league because.
And see, I gotta stop him right there. It said Mike says consistency and continuity is important. How are we going to be consistent and have continuity if we aren't consistently running the plays that we are good at? Because to be quite honest, guys, Like, even though, yes, Dak has been more under center and stuff like that, I haven't really seen the same plays happening. Like, when I look at San Fran's offense, you know what a staple player their offense is in the run game? The toss play that it's not really like a toss play. It's almost like a toss inside zone. Like, that's a staple of the San Fran offense. That's a staple of who obviously is from the Shanahan tree, Mike McDaniel offense with the Dolphins. You know, when you see these types of pick plays, drag routes, fullback flare outs, like, these are staples in the San Fran offense that you know you're going to see week in and week out, and they don't care how much is on film. They're like, go ahead and stop it. Just like, you know what a staple in Philly's offense is? Inside zone run game, RPO, right? Getting their guys isolated on boundary throws. Jalen Hurts, I don't think there's a quarterback. Jalen Hurts has regressed. The statistics say that, but there's no quarterback and wide receiver that hit that outside sideline throw like Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Like, they're consistently running stuff over. It's like, everybody's offense. It's like they doing the same stuff. Philly, the QB sneak, the QB tush push. It's the same stuff every week, but no one can beat it. But yet we're trying to be these gurus where we think we don't need an identity. We can just do this week, do these groups of plays this week, this group of plays this week, this group of plays this week, and when we find good defensive coordinators, they laugh at us. They not even good defensive coordinators. When we find defensive coordinators with the personnel, they literally laugh at us because they know exactly what we're going to run, how we're going to run it. Because it's the same freaking type of concepts that we've been running. But there's no staples. We're running same type of concepts that we were running even under Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan, but there's no staples of what is actually effective and works. Y'all understand what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get back to the.
It is difficult, and deal with the highs and lows. But when I look at our 5 games, we've had 3 lopsided wins. We had a tough game on the road that kind of got away from us that we fought back in, and then we had last night's game. So I think with that, the identity of the offense is clearly you want to have some balance throughout how you play. Ball distribution I think has been 4 out of 5 games. I think we definitely hit the mark. But I think when you get into games, I know when you get into these games, you got to get touches to certain individuals. So I think we clearly can be that. So I like a lot of things that we've done, outside of last night offensively. Because outside of the red zone, we've definitely hit the mark. When we started this, this offensive approach back in April. I just think it's a matter of who do you want to be and who do you think you are. I coached the team for a lot of years that was offensive driven, and but this team's about defense. Let's make no bones about it. That's not a slight against the offense. We want to score as many points as everybody, and we're not playing not to lose. So don't mix the message here. But we play to our defense. That's the strength of our team, and by doing that, the time of possession, taking care of the football. Those are 2 things that were, I thought, improvement from past years. The first month clearly was not last night. You can't win games. You give the ball away, you can't win a game. Let's be honest about that. So that's when the game.
We want to talk about giveaways, but let's be clear here. Dak didn't turn the ball over to the 4th quarter when we was already down like 10-38. Like, now Tony Pollard gave the ball away, but I just want to be clear about that. Like, you can't win games when Mike, because it was about 1 turnover in the first half, and you should have been able to recover from that. So let's not. And it was pretty much after that. Remember when I went back and rewatched it, Tony Pollard turned the ball over. The defense got a stop at the goal line. We couldn't move the ball. They punted it back to San Fran. San Fran scored.
Got out of control there in the second half. So got to take care of the ball. We got to continue to go the long way when we have to. But more importantly, I think we can do more as far as creating opportunities for big plays or getting the ball specifically where we want it to go.
Okay. So Mike says our identity. First of all, we're not asking what the team offensive what the team identity is. We said, Mike, what is this offense's identity? He bringing up, well, let's be quite frank, we're a defensive team. So our offensive identity is we're a defensive team. And then we go about, it's like you're not naming who you are, right? And he didn't say nothing about high tempo. Dak said high tempo and changing personnel was our identity. CD don't know what our identity is. Then we got Mike McCarthy saying our identity is long sustained drives, ball protection, and playing to our defense. That's our identity. But honestly, that's a lie, because if we was playing to our defense, how our defense was playing yesterday, then that means we should have been able to score more points. Because if we're going to go to how the defense plays, the defense was giving up points drive after drive. So that means yesterday on offense, technically, if we're playing to our defense, we should have had a shootout yesterday. We should have had a shootout. That should have been the game plan. Yet, what we had was a lot of scared, conservative play calling. That fear passed down from Mike McCarthy to Dan Quinn to the other coaches, the assistant coaches, down to the players. That's what happened yesterday. There's no other way to spin it. That's exactly what happened. So, and let me see if I can get back to my Veep. Can you bring back my presentation? There we go. Thank you. It's too much. That's exactly what you said, Nisi. It's too much. We're a high tempo, switch personnel, play to our defense, control time of possession, ball protection team. It's too much. Your players should be able to know the identity in about a sentence. And we got the head coach and our quarterback saying two different things, and our number one wide receiver saying they have no idea. Yeah, and I agree with you, Keystone. I don't agree with these players, and see, that's another thing I want to talk about as well. Especially Micah. I'm not going to say these players. I'm going to say with Michael Parsons. But see, I had an issue with Michael last year when he was on TikTok saying, oh, players don't give a damn about rivalries. I'm like, it seems like, no, you're the one who doesn't give a damn about rivalries. Because you saw yesterday, the 49ers for sure care about rivalries. The Eagles damn sure care about rivalries. It's you, Micah, who doesn't give a damn about rivalries, and it shows in your play. It shows in your play. Football is a historic sport, which means it is rich in history. This is not high school, Micah. You aren't part of the Nittany Lions in Penn State anymore. This is the Dallas Cowboys. For you to go online talking about you don't care about rivalries and it's nothing to you, it shows. It shows. After that ass whooping yesterday, you should have tucked your tail, Mr. Lion, and went in that locker room. Instead, you dapping guys up. But it's not just him. I saw Dak yesterday laughing with Bosa. Dak, what do you got to be laughing with Bosa about? What you got to be laughing about? Because he over there tearing up your right tackle. You need to be screaming at Terrence Steele for the showing he did against him. Instead, you and Bosa laughing. What y'all laughing about? This is the type of stuff I be saying. It's like these players, I don't know, but yesterday they were in no way locked in. No one was locked in yesterday. Y'all, the players put all this hype saying this was more than just a game and all of this stuff just for y'all to literally wet the bed against them. And Kittle can hold up his shirt that says F the Dallas Cowboys. But y'all think stuff is sweet. These guys be punking y'all on the field. Excuse my language, but they be bitching y'all on the field, and y'all think it's funny. They laughing. Y'all think they're laughing with you, but they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you because what you did yesterday was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment to this entire franchise and for millions of fans who literally do nothing but day in and day out stick our chest out for y'all, just for y'all to go out and do what y'all did yesterday. It's just unacceptable. You talk about Michael Kittle is, yeah, then you talk about Kittle is my guy. And I've yet to see, Michael was quick to defend Zach Wilson when whoever that was said that he sucks. But another commentator, just said yesterday that Dak is ass. Did you see Michael comment on that? You see any viral clips of him commenting on that? Did you see him go to Twitter and defending Dak yesterday? You see, this is the type of stuff that I'll be talking about with these young players. It's getting ridiculous. And I think this type of stuff, it's got to stem. See, Dan Quinn, I put on Twitter today, we so obsessed with Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn is nothing but another freaking company. He's a cool company guy. He thinks because I wear Jordans and I wear my hat back, I'm Mr. Cool Guy. He's just a company guy. He don't instill dog in these guys. He don't instill fear. He's too busy trying to be their best friends. And that's how Michael talk about DQ. Oh, DQ's like my uncle, man. I just love DQ so much. Oh, Al Harris and Diggs, they best friends. They going out there. That's not a coach. Where are our coaches at? It's getting ridiculous at this point. Our team is falling apart. Our coach is not doing a damn thing on the sideline. Our leaders ain't doing a damn thing on the sideline. That with that stupid look that every time Dak playing bad, he got that stupid deer in the headlights look. He just sitting there like, what are you doing? I would be up there ripping my wide receivers apart, ripping the O-line apart. I would be yelling at Mike McCarthy. Dak just sitting there like a deer out of headlights. Micah sitting there like a deer in headlights. CD on the sideline pouting like a little girl. Like, it's ridiculous. This culture that I thought we built, this is getting ridiculous at this point. Yesterday was so sad. I really don't know how else to spin it, but it was a disaster from top to bottom. And we need an entire regrouping. Because yesterday was literally, we got massacred on national television, and it's seeming to us that the fans care more than the freaking head coach, his coordinators, and the players. And all of them just give the same company, oh, we just got to be better. I just got to be better. Oh, I just should have played better. Oh, I just should have called a better game. No. This was not just another game, and these are the BS excuses that you give us. It's total bullshit. I hate to be cussing so much on this show, but literally, yesterday was literally bullshit. There's no other way to spin it. There's no other way to reframe it. Moving on. Sorry for my rant, but geez, like, it's just ridiculous. How do we fix it? These two. This is how we fix it. Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn. If this ship is going to be righted, it's going to have to come from these two guys. It's going to come down to this. Mike and Dan have to adjust. Period. Their plan that this team be this defensively led team is not working. You don't have any defensive greats, but this defense can be good with the talent that it has. Okay? We've seen that. With this talent that it has, it can be a damn good defense. Damn good defense. But Micah Parsons, yes, you do have all pros, but I'm sorry, buddy, until you win Defensive Player of the Year, Shut it down. Let's shut down the Lawrence Taylor talks as well. Let's shut it down. Let's stop wearing these doomsday defense. Take off the freaking hot boy chains. We need to go back to the basics. This is what I believe our solution should be. We should try to do this going into the Chargers game, and we really need to do an extensive regrouping when we're on our bye week. DQ, I think Dwayne, you mentioned it, talking about these stunts. The stunts and these crazy pass rush packages that he's trying to run, they don't work against great offensive coordinators. We need to get rid of it. Our identity on defense needs to be discipline. Forget the stats, okay? I'm talking about getting back to the high school level basics, because this hard-hitting man press defense that Dan Quinn seems to be trying to run, where it's sometimes in man press and then sometimes it's like guys are like 10 yards off the ball on 3rd and short. Like, what are we doing? You just gonna really give them up those easy yards? I don't understand it. But this defense that Dan Quinn has tried to come up with, trying to be a new defensive guru, it's not working. And when we play good OCs, i.e., when we face the 49ers in the freaking mirror, they show us that we time to take the mask off, be who we are, not who we are trying to be. We are trying right now as a Dallas Cowboys to be this defensive-led team, and we are not that. Either you're the 85 Bears or you're not. Either you're the 2000 Ravens or you're not. The inconsistency is showing us. When we face real offensive coordinators with the personnel, this defense looks pedestrian, including Micah Parsons. And somebody said, shout out to DeFi Cowboys, who said, listen, I love Micah Parsons just like the next person, he said. But he said, I've never seen offensive coordinators target a guy like they target Micah Parsons. They don't. Do you see defensive coordinators say, I'm going to target Aaron Donald? Oh, I'm going to target Myles Garrett. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's our game plan. I'm going to target Sauce Gardner. I'm going to target Pat Surtain. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to target Trayvon Diggs. That's exactly what I'm going to do. No, but they literally target. You see, Trayvon Diggs put his stamp. The offensive coordinators know, don't play those games with him. It's a suicide mission. But Micah Parsons, Mr. Lion, offensive coordinators are having their way with you. And whose decision was it to have you on the best competition? You know what decision I think it was? Micah. Because he's always trying to think about his individual self, what he wants to prove. I want to prove that I can go against the best. And he got his ass handled. Not even by just their left tackle, I forget his name, Trent Williams, but he was getting handled by their fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk was wiping Micah out. It's time to rethink some things. V, can you help me with my background music? I realize I've been talking into silence. Thank you. But look, we got Eastside here. But anyway, what's up, Eastside? I see y'all still didn't win, but y'all got CJ Stroud though. He broke Dak's record. Congrats. Anyway, moving on to this offense. So that's what I think we need to do on defense. Complete. Dan Quinn needs to go back to the drawing board. He has built this team to just focus on nothing but sacks, and we're going to be hard hitting. He don't have the disciplined players for that. You know who was hard hitting? The 49ers defense. But they were also extremely disciplined. Extremely. You don't have the discipline and the players to be running this type of defense. You don't have the personnel to be running constant man. Stephon Gilmore is amazing, but he cannot be in press and man covers consistently at his age. How much film does he got to show getting beat by these young, shifty wide receivers before you say, you know what? Let's stop putting him in man coverage. Let's just stop doing that. Dan Quinn and Mike had to look in the mirror first and say, what I'm doing is not working. I'm getting tired of the company speak, Dan. When we win, oh yeah, this is who we are. Then you lose against a good offensive coordinator. Oh, it just wasn't who we are. It just wasn't who we were, but we'll be who we are next week. That's not acceptable. We need a change. Mike and Dan have to adjust. Moving on, lastly. Mike is calling plays to prevent Dak from throwing picks. It's showing and it's turning Dak into a shell of himself. Dak is one of the best deep ball throwers and top 10 accurate QBs in NFL history. Go look it up if you think I'm lying. In this offense, it seems like he's either throwing deep balls or check downs. That isn't sustainable against elite defensive coordinators. Taking the middle of the field away from Dak has not made it easier on Dak, but it makes it harder. One of the easiest throws for a quarterback to make is in the middle of the field throws. Dak is one of the best at that, but you've taken that away from him. Right? Now it's taken away from him. When I say he needs to stop lying so much, I think I'm talking about Mike. Actually do what you say you're going to do, Mike. You said in your press conference before the offseason even started that you were going to make life easier on Dak, and it damn sure doesn't seem easier. What it seems is if the defense is getting 25 turnovers all that day, that you can capitalize off of that, but you're not showing an actual sustainable offense to be elite defensive coordinators. And honestly, their freaking defensive coordinator is from the Panthers now. That's not even DeMeco Ryan. So is he really that elite? No, you just got out-coached, and there was no reason for you to get out-coached like that, Mike. You're a Super Bowl winning head coach. That man is not. And you got out-coached. It's unacceptable. You after the game talking about CeeDee should have got his touches. What happened to your play sheet, Mike? You said you had play sheets. You would have a play sheet for CeeDee. You would have a play sheet for this person. And we didn't see it because CeeDee only got 8 targets. It's ridiculous. You don't got no damn play sheet. Stop lying so much. We're still changing plays week to week. I talked about that with Dak. Like, we're just switching out. It's too much. It's too much for these guys. You're basically having these guys remember like a million plays. This is probably why there was a mental blunder. Remember versus the Arizona Cardinals? I think that was versus the Patriots. Dak goes one way and Tony Pollard goes the other way. There's probably because, this is some new run we're running this week. It's too much. The players are having to still think too much because the overload of plays. I don't like this. We just add plays every week. We take away plays every week. It's too much. We need consistent plays that we can rely on. We need plays that we can run no matter who the personnel is because we know that our personnel is better at it. I said, Mike has just been calling plays like Kellen Moore, not establishing anything we're good at. And this will continue to be our demise against good defensive coordinators over and over again. So the solution to what can we do going forward? Number one, we gotta remember, we gotta take out the Super Bowl talk, guys. I'm sorry. We got to take out the Super Bowl talk. We got to stop calling this defense the doomsday defense and historic this and historic. We got to really cut it out. And Mike and Dan going to have to go back to this drawing board. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Because they're little, I'm trying to be these geniuses. I'm trying to be I'm trying to play to our defense. Like we just have this some like elite defense full of Hall of Famers. It's laughable to me. Like what? The 85 Bears had plenty of Hall of Famers, I believe. So did the 2000 Ravens. Even the Legion of Boom had multiple Hall of Famers. This is not the only two people that you may consider Hall of Famers. Maybe if they keep up the career they've been having is Micah Parsons and maybe Trayvon Diggs. And that's maybe. Like, we got to stop it. We got to stop it. Yeah, fans as well. We got to stop the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. Dwayne, we got to stop the Super Bowl talk. Let's end it. Let's end it. Super Bowl talk is a wrap for me. You won't be hearing nothing about Cowboys going to the Super Bowl from me. They're going to have to show me, and they're going to have to show me week by week by week by week. Now, our next test really is not going to come, guys, to be honest. I'm not worried about the Eagles. I mean, even if we do lose against the Eagles at our first show, I'm still not worried about it. How many times have we shown we can beat them? Like a million. I'm not worried about the Eagles. Our next real competition, to be quite honest, guys, is going to be who is it? The Bills and the Dolphins. That's our next two biggest tests. The Bills and the Dolphins. And those are going to be hard games because I believe the Bills is going to be up in Buffalo in the snow. But those are games where we're really going to be battle tested and see do we got what it takes to really win playoff football. And I'll leave us with this. If we look here, let me share my screen one more time, then I'll be out of here. But this is the season when the Bucs won the Super Bowl. This is the 2020 Bucs. They didn't win their division that year. So even if the Eagles win the division again, who cares? And the Bucs were struggling that year. They got swept. Obviously they went 11-5. They got swept by the Saints, right? But they were still able to pull it out. You can pull it out, guys. The world is not ending. This isn't the end of the Cowboys, but we have to make an adjustment. We have to make an adjustment. There's just literally no other way. Let me see. Did I share that with y'all? Can y'all see that screen? Here we go. I don't know. For some reason, I can't see it. But anyway, we have to make an adjustment, guys. And I think we can make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe we can for sure make the adjustment. But it's going to be one game at a time. One game at a time. We're down right now, but we can get back up. We can get back up for sure. We got the talent. We may have the coaches if they can make an adjustment. We may have the coaches. I was for sure we had the coaches, but after last night's showing, I'm not quite sure. I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. And you see, I already ripped into each player on Twitter and all that stuff, so I didn't have time to be doing all that stuff today. I did hold Dak accountable because I got to hold him accountable because he's my favorite, and I think Dak is better than that. I think Dak is a Hall of Fame level quarterback. But yesterday is not going to get it done. Yesterday, he looked very mid-tier-ish. It was just embarrassing. But anyway, guys, that's my time. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. Please like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please follow me on all social media. And please, if you feel it in your heart, donate to my channel via Cash App at $Stargazer Sports. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. And I should see y'all on Wednesday with Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball with my girl Craven Cowboys, a.k.a. Mickey. All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.